So, for the past several days, if not several weeks, we've been kind of putting the blame on Kevin Smith, and deservedly so, for the way Revelation turned out. And a majority of the blame is because Kevin Smith basically lied to us about what it was going to be. He tried to debunk, all the sources that were getting out about what the series was going to be about, who the series was going to center around, and all that, even after the synopsis for it was pretty much made official 2 years ago or so at the PowerCon where this was announced at. Even with that, and like I said, the sources that came out afterwards, Kevin Smith tried to debunk it and say, oh, it's not this, it's not that, and everything. And as soon as certain people like IGN, Grace Rudolph, and several others got early screenings of the first 5 episodes and gave their take on it, basically their reviews on it, pretty much what they said backed up a lot of those sources that came out. And then when the official debut happened back on Friday, July 23rd, a lot of that was backed up even further. And Kevin Smith still kept attacking the fans. He kept saying, no, this, it's not, it's not entirely true. You're not real fans. He was telling fans, grow the F up and stuff like that. And it just angered fans a lot more. Even those that are willing and have been willing to give the show a chance and have even said it's good, except for the few things that have been pointed out. Kevin Smith, putting the blame on the fans and trying to say, oh, you have fake sources you're hearing from, and you don't know the whole thing, you don't know the whole story yet, and everything. That's what, as I've said before, is what's been driving fans away from the show, or delaying them from watching it entirely, because there are those, like I mentioned, that are willing to see the show. They're willing to watch it, even if they don't like the fact that Kevin Smith lied to them about certain things. They pretty much know they're going to be seeing, based off what sources have, like I said, informational sources have been, leaked out, and what others have said by seeing it, themselves as well. But it seems Kevin Smith is not the only one to take the blame, because now, recently, he's been backtracking in the eyes of a lot of fans about what he's been doing. When it comes to Masters of the Universe Revelation, he's backtracking and everything and apologizing and stuff, but also at times still kind of getting on the fans about, hey, you just need to grow up and everything, just, let things be. And, he's basically, going one way and then going another. He's going like back and forth, if you will. It's like he's backtracking and he's forward tracking, kind of, if you want to look at it that way. But it was during some of these interviews that he did, and especially one on the day of the official debut on Netflix, that he pointed out that one of the people that helped him was Ted Biaselli, a Netflix director, I'm assuming Netflix direction of animated programming. And Ted Biaselli, along with another person from Mattel, who are supposedly, real huge He-Man fans from the 80s and all that kind of grew up with the series, grew up with the franchise, and were the best representations of us, as fans, knowing what we would want to see, especially in a continuation of the Filmation series. Ted Biaselli, actually, according to Kevin Smith, was the one that, as he sarcastically said to Clownfish TV, he didn't mention him by name, but so he sarcastically told Clownfish TV, that's Kevin Smith, that is, that he could have used their ideas before the scripts were locked down. And we could assume that Ted Biaselli is the one that locked down the scripts. But the question would be, why would somebody that's a long-time fan of the show, just like us, from the 80s, that represents, what we want to see and knows what we want to see, why would he lock these scripts down and keep them as they are? Well, it's real simple. It's because he's an activist. That's right. Now, I don't know if he's an activist by choice, or his own choice, or if he's an activist because his wife suggested it, or his friends and family suggested it. I don't know. But, nevertheless, he is an activist. And pretty much, when you see what Revelation is about and how it deconstructs, Teela's character and, some other characters and all that, and how the female characters are at the forefront, nothing wrong with that, depending on how you feel. Nothing wrong with that, all due respect, no offense. But, you wonder why they're at the forefront? It's because of Ted Biaselli locking the script in to be like that. Because one of these, I guess, activism groups that he supports is SJWs, or SJWs, council culture, Karens, wokeness, who knows. He may support all of them. And like I said, I don't know if it's by his own choice, his wife suggested it, his family and friends suggested it, I don't know. Him being an activist, that is. But yeah, Ted Biaselli's the one that basically made the show, at least the first 5 episodes of the show, be the way they are, and why they made Teela the way she is. And why we're seeing the LGBTQ-ness with her and Andrea, and why we're seeing this alignment with Evil Lynn, and why basically when they get time alone, why they're, bitch talking, excuse my language, God, but bitch talking the male counterparts, the male friends, why they do this and that, why they're acting so empowered and like, we're better than the male guys, than the men guys, is because Ted Biaselli basically allowed his activism, his support of all these activism groups to be infiltrated, or filtered in, I should say, filtered in, into Revelation. That's what happened. And, and I guarantee you, once a lot of people heard about this, yeah, they still blame Kevin Smith because he kept denying the fact that we already knew what was going to happen. He tried to debunk it. And now he's trying to backtrack, and that kind of fuels the fire a little bit more, where he's backtracking, forward tracking, going back and forth, if you will, and his interviews and stuff when it comes to the series. But he's now obviously also shifting the blame, or at least trying to share the blame, with Ted Biaselli. It's like he's trying to get the blame. He's trying to shift more of the blame onto Ted than onto himself, because Ted is the one that locked these scripts down, approved of these things to happen, and all because, as Yellow Flash 2 and Midnight's Edge and many others pointed out, like I said, he's an activist. And being an activist, he allowed that to influence and be filtered into the Revelation show, or Revelation show, I should say. That's what he did. And like I was saying, I guarantee you people that are hearing this now are still not just blaming Kevin Smith, but are now putting Ted Biaselli under the bus as well, because well, not under the bus, but they're also blaming him. They're also marching towards him with flame torches and everything because of because he's allowed his activism support to influence this show. And who's to say he didn't, allow it to influence the She-Ra show that Stevenson was working on, and maybe Stevenson, being an activist herself, was cool with it. We don't know. But yeah, apparently Ted Biaselli is one of the main people that needs to take the blame, not just Kevin Smith, again, who does deserve the blame because of the fact that he tried to deny, the truth about what the show was going to be. But also now, apparently, according to Kevin Smith himself, Ted Biaselli needs to share the blame for basically allowing his influence, or not influence, but allowing his support for activism and all that to, be filtered into the series and influence what the series was going to be about. So yeah, it seems that Kevin Smith is not the only one. It seems that Ted Biaselli is also someone to put the blame on, because he allowed his activism support to be filtered into the series, and we see it on display with Revelation. And I think honestly, if I'm Netflix, if I'm Mattel, and I'm Powerhouse, I'm like, look, I'm gonna, if I'm them and I'm working on the second half, I'm pretty much saying, look, we're gonna get the second half out, and whatever future other projects we have in mind, whether they're continuations or reboots of series, Ted, they need to take him aside and say, look, you need to put your activism support aside, put that to the back burner, and focus on what the series is really going to be about. Don't let your activism support be filtered in, influence your decision making. Put that to the back and focus on what needs to be. That's what they need to do with him on some of the future projects they have, and hopefully they will, if not already. But yeah, Kevin Smith, he's not the only one that takes the blame on all this. Ted Biaselli also has to share the blame. But let me know what your thoughts are. Comment if you like. I'd love to hear from each and every one of you. Sorry for the noise in the background. My mom is talking to my sister on the phone, and they kind of get a little loud sometimes depending on what they talk about. But let me know what your thoughts are. Comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on the live chat during the premiere, and I will talk to y'all later. And sorry if I rambled and repeated myself or spaced out a little bit, or seemingly spaced out. I was thinking about what I was going to say, and that's what happens when you do things unscripted and you have people talking out loud, you know, in the background. It kind of distracts you, you know what I'm saying? But again, let me know what your thoughts are. Comment if you like, and I will talk to you later. Peace. God bless. I am out. But yeah, let me know. Let me know what your thoughts are on this whole situation, because Kevin is now sharing the blame with Ted. Let me know what your thoughts are, and I will talk to y'all later. So, peace.